Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while, but I am back again. And of course, as you have seen and you've known, this is the season 3 of LBJ's Corner. And on this episode today, we are starting with the wonderful Mrs. Prisca. You are welcome, ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great. Great. So, episode 1, this season we are considering the productive mind, and we want to have a thought-provoking session so that we can. Um, I mean, a lot of people can watch this and learn from your personal experience, your professional life, and the things that have the strategies that have made you so productive and keeping you productive as well. So we'll go straight into it. So can you kindly tell us about yourself?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs Prisca Victor Nangba. I am a content creator, digital marketing consultant, media person, yes, and much more.
And much more. Fantastic. I am Mrs. When will I call myself Miss Star?
You don't have to bring that up now. How about no now?
Okay, my bad. My bad. All right. We'll go straight into it. Can you tell us what does productivity mean to you?
Okay. First off, productivity is very relative. I have come to understand that it is because what I might consider productivity might not be what the next person considers productivity. But I believe, on a general note, it is basically having set goals, targets, and meeting them up efficiently at the right time. Emphasis on time. So, personally, I think that's what it means. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So into the season now, the topic is the productive mind. So tell us what do you think is a productive mind?
Okay. First off, of course, I'm a Christian. So a productive mind first is a mind that is has been worked on by the Holy Spirit, first of all. Secondly, a productive mind is a focused mind. I believe that the best way one can be productive is through personal leadership and focus. If you can lead yourself and you can focus, you can be productive. Anyway, we'll get into examples as the show progresses. But from my point of view, I believe that if you can lead yourself, you can be productive.
Hmm. Self leadership, very,
Yes.
very, very important. I love that. I love that. Okay, we're going to go a little bit more personal now. What are your daily habits that keeps your mind productive?
Okay. Um. All right. Being in a creative space is one of the most distracting things that can happen to a person because you go to the office, you have a team constantly thinking about content ideas. Most times you can't focus. But what I do is every day I have tasks, I have targets I'm supposed to meet. Because not only do I work physically, I also work remotely. And I know that every company has an expectation of you that you're supposed to meet. So I have my to-do list. Call me old school by right. I would not type it on my phone, trust me. So I write it down on my journal. I just write to-do list and I write everything. And as I'm achieving each of them, I'm ticking them. Most times I tick and it's just one left. And I know that, okay, I've tried. I know keep person. Tomorrow is another day. But one of the best ways I've seen that um, I've been able to handle productivity is journaling, having
Mm,
my to-do list, having my targets, having things that I know that I'm supposed to do, setting small goals. Because sometimes what makes it very difficult is when we have bulky goals, bulky targets. You know it's unrealistic. Why are you still writing it down? I don't know what is the point. So having them in bits instead of chunks
Mm.
helps to break it down and increases productivity for me personally. Yeah. So
Uh, Um, um, how do you discipline yourself to walk through those daily to-do lists? Because the truth is, I am also like that. I write what I need to do. I don't this iPad or journal on phone. No, it doesn't work for me. But what is the discipline? How do you discipline yourself to say, listen, I have to? And of course, it's not necessary to accomplish 100%, though it is
yeah.
good. But realistically, I mean, if you can do 70-75% of your daily goals, I think it is a good one. So
True.
what is the discipline that you put on yourself to achieve them?
I know. It can be hard. It can be
Yeah.
very hard because sometimes I think temperament too affects these targets and focus and all of that. But
Mm,
I just tell myself I have to finish this today. No matter what happens, I just have to finish it. And I keep the book or the written to-do list in front of me so that every time and everything I'm doing, and also my mind, I think over time my mind has been wired to work with what I have on paper
mm,
as effectively as possible
mm,
because I have time deadlines in my mind.
mm,
Sometimes it's even as serious as maybe I have something to do in the morning and I can't even sleep completely. Even without an alarm, I know that I'm supposed to do this. So there is a way my mind works concerning these things. And also, I think God has helped a lot. God has helped a lot because I know we'll get into that part. The kind of distractions we have.
yeah. Yeah.
So that's basically just
Okay. So that's actually the next question. What is your biggest barrier to productivity and how do you overcome it?
social media is my biggest barrier. And I'm sure it's everybody's biggest barrier.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go online and I actually went to search for something productive and useful. But I'll end up seeing skits and I'll be laughing for like some minutes before I'm like, wait, what did I come here to do? you know? So basically for me, I think social media, videos, content have been my biggest distractions. And I snap out of it by snapping out of it like, okay, get out of this place now. And sometimes I have to take drastic measures. For a while now, I uninstalled my TikTok account. TikTok generally, I just uninstalled the app because someone said something that really struck me one day. He said TikTok is an endless, this is a bottomless scrolling app. Like it
I
doesn't
agree.
end. You give
I agree. I agree totally. Yeah.
and I caught myself scrolling one day. I'm like, you're in trouble. Oh. So
Yeah.
I I think social media is my biggest distraction.
But interestingly, you are into the creative space, which it can be safe to say, oh, I mean, that is your world, in quotes. But then you mentioning it as a kind of distraction, it just get to show that you can be distracted with the needed things.
True.
Right. Because I mean, you have to think of a content, you have to,
Yeah.
but then you can see some ideas from someone else content and all
Of
of that.
course. Yeah.
Interesting. How do you balance productivity, rest, and relaxation?
Okay. I don't hmm. Stress, right?
Yeah.
I have tried to answer this question over and over again, but I
Yeah.
have come to realize that you can't take stress out of life.
Yeah.
you just you just cannot. As
Yeah.
long as you are living, As
Yeah.
long as you're working, as long as your mind is functioning, your brain is thinking, you
Mm.
can't really take stress out of life.
Mm.
What you can do is relax once in a while.
Mm.
And everybody has their definition of relaxation.
Yeah.
Someone's definition of relaxation might be reading a book, might be sleeping. For me, I don't consider relaxation sleeping. I don't. Most times I don't sleep. I'm more stressed than when I'm awake. So I think you can balance it by finishing your task. When I want to feel relaxed, I ensure that all that I am supposed to do, I have done.
Mm.
Even if I'm not sleeping, it
Mm.
helps my mind relax a whole
Mm.
lot better
Mm.
than you still have a bulk of things to do and you now want to relax. You
Mm.
can't,
Yeah.
except you're not you don't have set goals, targets, deadlines.
Mm.
So I feel the best way for relaxation is
Mm.
clearing out your target. Then you can relax.
What are your strategies to avoid burnout? Burnout in the sense that sometimes it is so boring to do the same thing again and again and again and again. You can get stressed and you can just
Yeah,
lose interest in
yeah.
it. So what is or what are the strategies you use to avoid it?
Okay, I have two strategies I use, or three. Let's just use three.
Okay.
Um, One is I stop doing it completely and just go back to the same social media that's distracting me and just entertain myself for a while. But I've also come to realize that when I stay too long on social media as relaxation, I get even more stressed.
Mm.
So I think social media, I'm not a movie person, so I will not even say movie can help me relax.
Mm.
I'm not.
Mm.
So um the second thing is God. When I feel empty and out of sort, I just go to him because I know that his ideas are fresher than ChatGPT, way fresher. So he inspires and encourages me again to get up. And lastly, I try to engage with people who are not yet tired.
Mm.
I, when you have a business or a job and it's not safe to be a loner in that space, it's good to have at least one or two friends, even if not friends you talk with, maybe mentors. They might not even be people you know personally,
Mm.
but you know that these people, at this point when I'm tired, they are not tired. So you can draw strength from
Mm.
their, you know, continuous enthusiasm and all that. So I think, yeah, most times
Mm.
when I don't want to burn out, I kind of like go to those people and like, okay, they're still working, they're still active. So why are you tired? You know? And usually I burn out. Trust me, I don't know how to
Yeah,
avoid
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Usually I
Everybody
burn out. When I
does.
burn out, I will now sleep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
to automatically reboot. I love that. I love that. Meet people who are not yet tired.
yeah.
Hmm. That's a powerful one. I think I should use this. All right. Who or what has influenced you when it comes to productivity and why?
Um, mm, mm. Okay, I have two mentors, two mentors personally. I don't know them personally, and I
Yeah,
don't believe you must know your mentors.
yeah.
Um, One of them is Vusi Tembekwai.
Okay.
He is a South African public speaker,
Yeah,
and I just love the way he thinks.
yeah.
And when I get weak sometimes, or maybe I don't know how it should be, or something, just listening to him alone gives me that encouragement and
Mm.
strength I need to push on. Of course, you learn a lot from him when you listen to him.
Yeah.
The second person is Pastor Debola Deji Kurumi,
Mm.
DDK.
Mm,
She's an exceptional woman, to say the least. And I've learned a whole lot from her. She's a pastor. She's quite enlightened and exposed. And I just believe that every time she speaks, it strikes me. And I know that
mm,
there's something in this woman that resonates in my own heart.
mm,
Because being in ministry is one thing, because not to forget, I'm also a pastor's wife. So being in ministry is one thing, but also being able to function in the capacity that God has placed in your hand and has put in you is
mm,
another thing.
mm.
So she is, at least to an extent, one of the balanced women I know so far. And lastly is my husband.
Okay. So tell us about your
Single people
husband.
cannot breathe when it comes to this one. They can never breathe.
If you want to talk to me directly. Don't go
No,
through
no,
the
no, no. Don't
corners.
worry. Some people are they are single, then they are single people.
There is only one person coming to mind, but I'm not going to mention any name here for my safety because he has been
Okay.
bullying me everywhere.
Oh
How
my
can you be
god.
single and still tormenting people? Fantastic. Yes, I would like to hear. Tell us, how does your husband inspires you? Because to be
Okay.
honest, many people don't understand how that works. So please kindly tell
Yeah.
us.
Okay. Initially before I got into marriage, I kept hearing people say, kind of man you marry can make you or mar you, all those plenty English. And it was sounding very like, okay, me, I will still do my own thing, whether you make me or mar me, not concern me, you know. But I realized that a lot of the things I know, in fact, coming into the digital space was from him. I
Mm,
did not know I could do this. I never thought about it. I never dreamt of it. I was a baker, still am, but not really. So, and that was all I thought there was to life,
mm,
But meeting him really reflected on my mind. He started encouraging me to read books, started encouraging me to watch certain programs, and a lot of things. Encouragement too from him. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. It's like, you can, what's people that are doing, do they have 10 heads? You know. So basically, he has been a pillar, a really serious source of encouragement. Sometimes he's more passionate about me than I am about it. uh, it's yes. So I think it really tells a lot when you marry a supportive spouse, when you have a supportive spouse. Because imagine if I had a content to create and my husband walks in and is like, "What are you doing? Please turn off that ring light." It kills the entire vibe, it kills your entire passion, desire, creativity, everything. But he
mm.
is like the direct opposite of that. So I think it's helped a lot, a whole lot. Yeah.
So it's safe to say he unlocked the digital space
Oh my
in you.
God. Oh my God. Oh my,
Please,
I
hey,
kept it
let us end
open.
there. Fantastic. It is really, 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 really great to hear. All right. What was the most unproductive phase of your life and how did you turn it around?
Yes. Yes, I had one. Very long one. Um, from my perspective, like I said, productivity is very relative.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, one of the most unproductive phases of my life was when I first got married.
Mm,
I moved into a new location and all I knew how to do was bake. And of course, when you're changing location, it means that you're changing clients. It
yeah.
means that you're new there, you're coming to meet fresh competition, you're coming to
Mm,
an entirely different environment that may not necessarily be willing to pay as much as where you're coming from.
mm,
So for some months, I really, really felt unproductive. Even if now that I think about it, I should have done some things in that season. But
Mm.
that time, which is why most times when I'm speaking to young ladies and girls and all of those looking to, because of course they'll definitely settle down, I always try to emphasize the need of having a digital skill,
Mm.
because it is not limited to location. It is not
Mm.
location based, especially if you're working remotely. And even if you're not, if you just have a skill that provides income, that is
Mm.
not a physical skill, anywhere you
Mm.
move to, except the Lord says don't continue, you're rest assured that
Yeah.
you are still going to be as productive as you were,
Mm.
before
Mm.
you relocated.
Mm.
So I think that season was the most unproductive season for me personally.
Mm.
That's what I feel. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Digital skill, highly, highly needed.
Yeah.
You talked about writing your to-do list and trying to tick them and trying to accomplish them. How do you set your goals, whether short term or long term? How do you set them, and then how do you achieve them?
Okay. So like I said,
Yeah.
before I got married, I was trained by my pastor on goal setting and all of those things. And the very important lesson he taught us was setting, having, there are three stages of goals. You have
Yeah.
your long term, your mid term, and your short
The
term
short
goals.
term. Yeah.
The long term goals are, years, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, can even be 10 years. The midterm should fall in between 2 years or so, 2 years to 3 years or so. Then the short term goals are the ones that I really, really observe,
Mm.
because I have set long goals. I have tried different types of goal setting methods. I have set unrealistic goals. I have set realistic goals. You know, I have said, okay, I will read 10 books in a month. I ended up reading half, like not one book, half of the book. So I think setting goals in
Yeah.
bits, they may
Um,
not look like much,
mm.
but I guarantee you that it's more productive when you
Yeah.
achieve small goals
Mm.
over time than when you
Yeah.
set big goals that you never get to do anything about.
Mm.
So I, yes, I do it by setting daily goals, precisely,
Mm.
not even weekly, but
Mm.
daily, so
Mm.
that every day I'm done. When I have my time to reflect about the day and say, okay, what did I do today? What did I achieve? I can easily go back to it and say, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this. I didn't finish this, but I'll finish it tomorrow. And I'll
Mm.
add it to the next day's goal and set other realistic goals. Because one thing you must learn as someone that's setting goals is you learn to carry over goals. Don't throw them away.
Yeah.
When you set 5 goals and you were able to achieve 3, the remaining 2 should go over to the next day. And don't increase it so much until you're able to finish those ones that you've set. So yeah, I think that's what has really helped with my to-do list.
Really practical. Honestly, really, really, really practical. How has technology impacted your productivity, both positively or negatively?
Okay. Um, of course, you can't be a productive person now, especially in your workspace. In fact, in any
Mm.
space without
Mm.
technology.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes when I'm in the office and I'm asked to do maybe a proposal, a letter, something, I don't bother my head. ChatGPT straight. I'm typing out everything I need and I'm
Yeah.
editing it. So I think technology has made room for more efficiency.
Yeah.
It has made room for more productivity, also more creativity.
Yeah.
Because even as a social media manager, sometimes you want to create content for a page. You may have, I realize that watching other people's content, as good as it is not the best way to get content ideas
Mm.
most times. Yeah,
Mm.
it's good, but saying that is the only strategy, it's not going to work.
Mm.
So I believe that um, technology helps because you can just go to ChatGPT slot in your questions, give me content ideas for this, give me content ideas for this, and you can brainstorm it into life
Mm.
your own way,
Mm.
right? You can always edit, you can always, I think last week or so, my team lead came to me and was like, okay, write this course for me, do this course, do this. There was a document she wanted me to do. It took me 2 minutes to do it because ChatGPT did everything. I just edited one or two things from it. So technology it has been a lifesaver to say the least, a
Yeah.
big lifesaver. Sometimes you want to do something and you don't know how to go about it, or
Mm.
it will not be very wise for you to tell your boss, I don't know how to do it.
Mm.
So you go over to YouTube and you type it out, how to do this. It shows you, and you go back and you do it. It's
Yeah.
as easy as that. So I think technology has helped. Negatively, of course, a lot, a lot of negative parts.
Yeah.
Time wasting,
Yeah.
time consumption. I realized recently that I can't
Mm.
eat without watching a video.
Mm.
Like, I have to be watching a video while I'm eating. Otherwise, I won't enjoy the food. I'm like, I'm in trouble. you know. So it can be addictive.
Yeah.
It can be addictive.
Yeah.
That part of addictiveness is where our major problem is, at least
Yeah.
my own. Don't know about
Yeah.
every other person, but
Yeah.
my major problem.
Mm.
Yeah. I think that's the only place that technology has flopped or has been a negative impact to me.
We can't talk about productivity without talking about time management.
Yeah.
Managing your time or anybody managing their time is one of the most effective to way to high productivity, right? So how do you see the concept of time management?
Okay. Time management.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's also relative, but I think it's also very general.
Mm.
Knowing that I recently, I think some months, last month or last 2 months, I decided that I wasn't going to be doing any work Saturdays and Sundays, no matter how urgent it is.
Mm.
No matter, even if except somebody's dying, but I don't think anybody will be dying over a document. So I told myself that I wasn't going to do any work Saturday
Mm.
and Sunday, and I have deliberately turned off my office phone
Mm.
so that I don't get tempted to do it. If I see anything that needs to be done, I'll take note of it, but it will be done on Monday.
Yeah.
So that automatically means that my Mondays to Fridays have to be as productive as possible so that I
Mm.
don't have anything lagging on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm.
I also try to look at it as whether you're working for physically or you're working remotely, the normal office hours are 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So if there is anything you want to do within that window, if there's anything you want to do that has to do with productivity, whether it's an office job, it's a content creation job, thing, even if it's your study, you should try to make sure that it falls within that time.
Mm.
And it falls within that time. It helps a lot. Um, it does. It does. Trying to extend the time to 6, 7, you get weary over time. If you consistently do that, you get
Mm.
weary. Also, for time management, I realized, in fact, all the things there are realizations I'm coming into.
Yeah.
So I realized recently that I think it's the Holy Spirit that brought it to my heart. That most times the reasons why we don't finish tasks when we set them is because we don't have any incentive we're looking forward to.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, what do you mean incentive? Is it like a pay or anything? No. An incentive can be a video you have promised yourself to watch, a movie that you have set your time that I have this movie for me to relax or for me to do anything or to read a book.
Mm.
I am going to do this by 12 noon. which is
Mm.
usually office break hours.
Yeah.
So if you observe the office time rule, it will help a lot even in your personal space.
Mm.
So which is office break hours, 12 noon. Um, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this fun thing by this time. I'm going to go out, get a cup of ice cream by this time. It
Yeah.
means that every to do or every goal you set must fall within 9 to 11
Mm.
or 11:30,
Mm.
and every after goal must fall within 2 or 1 to 5.
Mm.
It helps you know that this is how you have to manage your time.
Mm.
Also, having a calendar with time on it. Some people are good with calendars. I'm not good with it. If I have it, I won't even remember I did anything on the calendar. But recently, I am also learning to not say, I'm not like this, I'm like this. I'm learning
Yeah.
to adjust as much as possible
Mm.
to accommodate good things. I like learning good things, you know.
Mm.
So, yeah, I feel like I've said a whole lot.
Yeah, you have, and very, 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 very productive things, to be honest. I think every time I host a podcast like this, honestly speaking, I end up being like the first beneficiary, in the sense that honestly, I'm learning from you. I'm learning from what is working, from because I'm looking at myself, a PhD candidate. Trust me, sometimes some days I finish my day by 4, and I am just angry that, listen, I have a lot to do. However, there is no energy, there is no motivation anywhere. So honestly, I am learning. As we bring this to a close, what is your biggest productivity strategy?
Okay. I think my biggest productivity strategy is constantly reminding myself of the future I want.
Hmm.
Constantly, constantly reminding myself of the future I want.
Hmm.
Um, if you really want to be, or if you're going to be an effective, productive person, you're going to come across as ambitious. You're going to
Hmm.
come across as overdoing, you know, but what keeps me going most times, even when I don't want to, is the future I see and I want.
Hmm.
Also, as Christians, knowing fully well that this is what God has placed in your hands can keep
Hmm.
you on your toes, because you don't want
Hmm.
to disappoint Him. Just like He
Hmm.
gave those guys talents and all of that, He didn't
Hmm.
tell them to trade, He just gave it to them. And of course, you wouldn't even blame the guy that buried it, because I mean, I didn't know I was supposed to trade it. It's not my fault, you know. But the others did, and that means that they put the extra effort to it. I also looked at a lot of people, like I mentioned, two mentors. Every time I look at them, I know that there is a possibility of the future in my mind.
Hmm.
And that means that I have to push harder. I have to really get myself up even when I don't want to get up,
Hmm.
to move forward. Because, like I said, you are the only one that can lead yourself
Hmm.
as an individual. You
Hmm.
can have an accountability partner that works. Sometimes you need someone to push you, but there's only so much people can do for you. So, as an individual, you must have a picture in mind. If it means printing out the things you have in mind and placing on your wall, those wall design things, they say, okay, I think there's a cardboard, I've forgotten the name of that thing now. You put a cardboard and you cut out the pictures and all of that. Those things don't work for me. But if it works for you, if that's what it will take for you to have it in mind, that this is where I want to be, no matter the sphere of life you're in, whether you're a preacher, whether you're a teacher, student, worker, media person, lawyer, any sphere of life, you have to have somewhere you see yourself in the
Mm.
future. If you don't, it will be difficult to work because you don't have anything you're working towards. Every time a hamster is on a mill, on a treadmill running, it's because it's seeing either a cheese hung in front or something that it has to get. That's just how we are. When there is no passion, there is no dream, you have nothing to chase. So, yeah, I think.
Wow. To think of it, that is a huge, huge motivation. Before we let you go, what what would be your final advice to someone watching and is saying, listen, I need to be productive, or I need to sustain my productivity? What would be your advice to that person listening?
Okay. First, know God, know Jesus,
Mm,
know Jesus, so that He can put you in check when you are slacking.
yeah.
He's not just Lord, He's also friend, He's also guide.
Mm,
So He can put you in check when you're
mm,
slacking. Second,
mm,
surround yourself by people who are more productive than you.
mm,
Sometimes having people who are not as productive as you or who are less productive as you can make you feel like you're overdoing,
mm,
whereas you've not started.
mm,
So most times have people around you. Company is very important.
yeah.
Friendships are very important. Have people who
Mm,
are more productive than you, who think
mm,
farther than you, who love
mm,
Jesus more than you.
yeah.
Just have people who encourage you and you look up to. And lastly, have a future in mind. Like I
Mm,
said, have a future in mind. Have something you're
mm,
looking at.
mm,
Don't just live casually. Have
mm,
something you're looking at. Have something that even when you're sleeping, when you're
mm,
resting,
mm,
it's on your mind because you
yeah.
know that it has to be done.
Mm.
It will help. Yeah.
Wow, this has been honestly thought provoking for me personally, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your knowledge with us on this episode. And we're always happy and glad to have you. And I know
Thank you for
how
having me.
you had to create time for us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. There's nothing else I would say. Please make sure you share this to your friends, your colleagues. They need to hear from her own experience. Just as I've learned, I'm sure a lot of people would also learn from her wealth of knowledge. So thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. See you on the next episode. Bye
Bye.
bye.